Well, some of the people have been asking for plans for our layout, and there's the basic shape of the room. And what I'll do is I'll zoom in and show you the lengths of the room as we go around. The thick black walls obviously represent the walls. That's the window, the entry door. And then back to the bottom again. So that's the plan. And you can see some of the lighter lines for the layout are on there. Now Josh and I worked on this together to this is probably our 5th or 6th revision, and this is the main level. It's pretty close. We changed the yard here just to go straight instead of having this turn for the engine yard. This is pretty close. The coal plant along here we've changed actually twice. We laid down the track and we ended up getting a run through as we got a little farther and had a little better idea what we wanted to do. Anyways, it goes around the turn, and here's the door. You can see that there's 3 tracks. Originally we had it going underneath the level and then having a staging yard underneath the long back wall. However, we decided that was too much work and probably hard to get to, so we ended up putting a small staging yard on the peninsula under here and got to it going through the underneath the tunnel or underneath the climb. So that's something that we changed. Other than that, it's pretty close. You can see that where we're planning on having a river go through the peninsula, and you can see the basic layout of the climb. The dotted line is where it goes into a tunnel. This actually goes into the workbench, which is right along here, and it'll come out a little farther than we had originally planned, but it's morphing as we go along. This is a view of the climb. You can see it starts here, works its way along the back wall. This stayed actually very close to the way we had this plan. It reaches the top here. You can see we had talked about helixes and we drew a bunch of circles and decided it was more fun to have a climb instead of something hidden behind. So that's why we axed the helix idea. And then this is the upper level, again starting where the climb came up. And this worked out to be pretty close to the same. We had an extra track along here and we decided that just wasn't going to work very well. But it did come along the top there, and you can see it stayed pretty close. What we did change, this was only a foot between here and here. We ended up making it go about 1.5 feet, and that was so that we could have a little more room and have a yard up on top, and that's where we're going to have the paper plant. So there's the upper level, and there's the climb, and there's a view of the main level. Hope that answers the questions that some people wanted to see, what the basic layout looked like. I'll try to get the video camera so you can look straight down on it. Again, there's the shape of the room. Hope that helps.